Have you ever wondered who are the greatest and strongest warriors of all time? We did too. That's why we went ahead and gathered information about them. Learning about the types of ancient warriors and their military feats is interesting, and it's important to discuss the limits of people during a war. The greatest and strongest warriors in history. Now that we know the origins of the great warriors, why don't we learn a few of their names? Listed below are 5 of history's best warriors. Each type of warrior we introduce includes their historical achievements, the time they lived in. Number 1. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. Born in Pella, Macedonia around 356 BCE and died on June 13, 323 in Babylon, Alexander the Great is known for his amazing feats. However, historians know him more as the King of Macedonia from 336 BCE up to his death. One of Alexander the Great's most impressive feats is the sacking of the Persian Empire and his travel to India. Alexander the Great died at the age of 32. Historians debate his cause of death. Some historians believe it was malaria, while others suggest poison. Number 2. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is one of the most famous warrior kings in history. His real name was Temujin and was born in 1162 around Lake Baikal in Mongolia. He died on the 18th of August 1227. His fame stems from his successful conquests against opposing tribes and the unification of Mongolia. However, Genghis Khan was also able to conquer more than just Mongolia's territory. He sailed across the Adriatic Sea and managed to conquer different nations as well. This earned Genghis Khan's spot as one of the greatest warriors in existence. Number 3. Julius Caesar. Another one of Rome's legendary warriors is Julius Caesar. The Roman Senate disagreed with his way of ruling, causing one of the most famous betrayals in history, Julius Caesar's assassination. The grudge between Julius Caesar and the Senate started long before his assassination. Julius, who wasn't even king at the time, denied the court ruling and traveled across the Rubicon River. This action may seem minuscule, but was the result of the Roman Senate's fear of Caesar's growing power. Knowing fully well that his actions would lead to a civil war, Julius Caesar committed insubordination. Julius Caesar was an intelligent military tactician. This allowed him to rise through the ranks as he formed allies. The first one is Crassus, a man with political and military influence said to be the wealthiest man in Rome. The second one was Pompey, a political leader. Pompey's betrayal of Caesar stemmed from his jealousy. Especially since Caesar immortalized his name after the conquest of Gaul. Caesar had defeated the Gallic tribes, one of the strongest warriors that intimidated the Roman Empire. Caesar defeated Pompey in the Great Roman Civil War. Afterward, Caesar defeated Pharaoh Ptolemy XIII in the Battle of the Nile, giving Queen Cleopatra her right to the throne. Julius had many more victories in battle. The Senate feared Julius despite his aid in reforming the Roman Empire. Their defense against his death was to protect the Roman Republic's ideals. This backfired for the Senate as it eventually led to the Liberators' Civil War and the end of the Roman Empire. Number 4. Leonidas I of Sparta. Even today, Leonidas of Sparta remains one of the greatest warriors in history. Leonidas I was the son of King Anaxandridas II, king of Sparta. He ruled Sparta along with his fellow king Leotychides. This is because Sparta always had 2 kings. Sparta itself had a tradition of training young boys into the greatest warriors they can be. Mothers left their young sons to survive fierce battles against each other and wild animals. Survival is based solely on one's physical abilities during these times. Once they graduate from this training, they are full-fledged hoplites. Leonidas of Sparta was accompanied by 300 hoplites during the Second Persian War. We know this battle as the Battle of Thermopylae or Battle of the 300. The oracle Sparta predicted that either Sparta herself would fall or one of her kings before the battle began. It came true, with Leonidas and his fierce hoplites perishing from the invading army. Leonidas of Sparta remains one of the strongest warriors despite the aggravating loss. His death was symbolic for the Greeks, and the bravery of his men proved what their people were willing to sacrifice for their freedom. Their actions immortalized Leonidas, whose bravery was a necessity to prevent the invading Persians. Herodotus, a famous historian of his time, recorded in his series Histories that Leonidas was related to the mythical hero Hercules. While his published works did have a few inaccuracies, they are still generally accurate records to this day, meaning that it could be possible that Leonidas was indeed Hercules' descendant. Number 5. Yu Fei. Yu Fei, also known as Yu Fei, is one of China's greatest warriors and a national hero of his country. He was born in Tengyin, Henan in the year 1103 and died on January 27, 1142, in what is now Hangzhou. During Yu Fei's time, North China was under the control of the Jin dynasty made up of the Tungus Jurchen. They were nomadic tribes of Manchuria who managed to take over Song and Kaifeng. The abdicated Emperor Huizong and his son Qinzong were imprisoned by the Tungus Jurchen as well. It was Emperor Huizong's son, Gaozong, who managed to fend off the Tungus Jurchen in the south. Yu Fei was Emperor Gaozong's military commander for his Nan Song forces. If it wasn't for Yu Fei, the Tungus Jurchen would have defeated Emperor Gaozong as well. Yu Fei was a skilled military tactician. He made use of the natural landscape by making it difficult for the Tungus Jurchen to arrive in South China thanks to their horses and the hills. Yu Fei took the advantage of this difficulty in the center of South China, the Huai River, and the Yangtze River. Chinese citizens consider Yu Fei's death a tragedy. Qin Hui and his faction did not agree with Yu Fei's attempt to reclaim all of China. Since Qin Hui was prime minister, he decided against Yu Fei's attempts and formed a treaty with the Jin dynasty. As a result, Yu Fei was imprisoned and executed to appease the Tungus Jurchen. Qin Hui, the traitor, was shunned by the 20th century. Meanwhile, Yu Fei became China's heroic symbol of bravery against invasion. Conclusion. We hope you enjoyed learning about the best warriors of all time. Whether they were defending their country, expanding their territory, or even causing chaos wherever they went, it's clear these were feared warriors. Some of those we mentioned were great rulers as well. Noting that a great warrior should also be intelligent in order to predict their enemies' movements. Meanwhile, there are other warriors we mentioned that had courageous hearts. This means that being strong itself isn't all that is needed to become a great warrior. Your gender also doesn't apply to whether or not you can become one. This list can't tell you who is the greatest warrior of all time. However, it explains how these great warriors managed to become immortalized by their actions. Modern warriors nowadays have become military soldiers. Assassins, also known as hitmen, are still alive today as well. However, learning about the trials they faced allows us time to reflect. Did war ever bring anyone any good? If so, was the price they paid truly worth it? Thanks for watching.